Hey everyone, I'm Big John, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show. So, this week I want to talk about, for this week's tip, I want to talk to you guys about ECVs, limited mobility, and stuff like that. Now, for those of you who may have been with us for about almost a year, you would know last year when we were down there in December, we did a video of us riding in the Main Street vehicle, and halfway through it, my mom said it's a great way for people who have limited mobility to get up to the castle. And while that may be true, I want to talk about some other stuff, like other ways that help people with limited mobility. Like, I know a couple people who are down there who have limited mobility. My friend Brian from the amazing YouTube channel Brian and Amanda looked them up on YouTube. They do Disney live streams every single day. And also, one of my good friends who is going to be down there with my good buddy Beth this week, she has limited mobility. And this kind of goes back to what we talked about last week with the disability pass. So, people who have limited mobility can use the disability pass as well. But here's the thing. When you're in a line for an attraction, you have to get out of your wheelchair or scooter or something like that so you can be able to get in the vehicle. Now, sometimes for that, the ride will have to halt to get the person in the vehicle safely. And again, the ride will have to halt once again to get the person out. So it takes a little while. And also, if a person who has limited mobility wants to use the pass on something, they have to ride it. If they get their pass on it, they can't have their other party members go on it for them. Like, I remember this interesting thing I witnessed back in 2018. We were about to ride the railroad back when it was still functioning, but it will again once Tron opens, if ever. Anyway, we saw something going on with a family with a child who had I don't want to say, but it looked like she had cerebral palsy, and they were about and wanted to get the pass for Splash Mountain, but they weren't going to ride it. The family was, but you can't. If you get the pass and you have disabilities, you have to ride it. You can't just give the pass to someone else. It has to be something you have to get the pass for something you know you're going to ride. But anyway, if you have limited mobility, sometimes you have to keep up with the pace. And last August, my mom was had a little boot because she had foot surgery earlier on in that summer. So if you're with someone who has limited mobility, you need to slow your pace if you have a fast pace to comfort the person who can't move as much. Anyway, so that's my tip. As always, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about how to do Disney for people with disabilities. Let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure it gets in a future episode. Now, on to this week's top 5. Now, this week has marked 1 year since Disney Plus has been launched. 1 year. And so far, so many great stuff on there. So many great stuff from my childhood. But there are some things that I want on Disney Plus that Disney hasn't released yet, which I think they should. So, this is this week's top 5, the top 5 things I would like to see on Disney Plus. Number 5, Aladdin, not the movies, not the live action film. I'm talking about Aladdin, the animated series. It was one of my favorite shows growing up on Toon Disney, back when Toon Disney was a thing. And I would watch it all the time. It was probably one of my favorite shows, mostly because of the genie. And I think if Disney remembers it, they should indeed put it on Disney Plus. It's an amazing, amazing show. All right, at number 4. Now, of course, Disney Plus has the 1950s Mickey Mouse Club shows, like the original Mickey Mouse Club, but I would like to see them put on Disney Plus the other incarnations of the Mickey Mouse Club. I'm talking about the 70s incarnation. I know they put a little bit of the 70s incarnation on it with the Mouseketeers at Walt Disney World, but there's more to them than that. This incarnation would do different things. Like sometimes they would do live shows at Disneyland. So I think Disney should, and also they should put the 90s version of the Mickey Mouse Club on there. You know what I'm talking about. Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. That should indeed be on Disney Plus. Make sure you comment if you agree with me. Now, number 3, the Disney Channel games. Now, for those of you who don't know, many years ago, Disney Channel used to have their little Olympic Games, with all their stars and, some of their biggest stars, like from Hannah Montana, Zack and Cody, That's So Raven, all those shows, and Disney Channel stars from across the globe. So I think it's a great way to get to know a lot of these international stars as well as personal stories of the stars and see them take part in unique competitions. And I think once this whole pandemic is over, I think Disney Channel should try doing that again. And also I think they should indeed put the all 3 incarnations of the Disney Channel games on Disney Plus. It is amazing, and it should be on there. Now, number 2, speaking of Disney things that should, live action Disney things that should be on Disney Plus, some of the old Disney Christmas parades. Now, Disney has announced that this year's Christmas show will be reimagined, most likely with highlights from other past performances and some other unique elements in this year's show. But I think that Disney should put their previous parades on Disney Plus because that way loyal fans can have a parade to watch and relive their favorite parade memories. I actually think that. And now, my number 1 thing that I think Disney should put on Disney Plus: House of Mouse. Again, I grew up watching this show. It was amazing seeing all my favorite Disney characters in one show. It was like a dream come true, to be quite honest. And I definitely did. I'm surprised Disney has not put it on Disney Plus yet. So I actually think they should do that. I really think they should. Comment if you agree with me. So that's my top 5. Now, for this week's miscellaneous, I want to talk about something. So every year on the Saturday before Thanksgiving, I print out an entire schedule of Disney, not just Disney, of Christmas specials of many networks, and I put them on, and I print them out so that I know what is going to be when. So starting next week for the Christmas season, I will be announcing when throughout the week you will find where and when you'll find some of your favorite Disney Christmas shows or other Christmas shows or anything you'd like. I think I'll be very informative. So make sure you check that out. So, that's this week's show. As always, I want to shout out, my friends. Make sure you check them out. My friend Beth at Beth's Disney Adventures. Like I said, she has a big week ahead of her with a couple of her friends. They're going to be doing live streams all week next week, doing challenges and adventures. Make sure you check her out. And one of her friends is, of course, also my good friend, CJ at Disney Planning Guys. She will be joining Beth this week for her challenges. And also, she does Diz Week's News every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check her out. Also, my friend Julie from Dream to Stream. She does amazing live streams on YouTube. So make sure you check her out as well. And as always, for the latest attraction news, make sure you check out my friends at Attractions Magazine. And until next time, may the mouse be with you.